Welcome back to Watching My Garden Grow. It is June 13th, 2018. Really late getting the garden in, but everything about today so far has kind of said either one thing. You're going to have a great garden or you're going to have a really crappy one, because it's been like crappy getting everything ready to go. So here we go. I'll be right back. You know what? This is all about you and showing how that you can do this. You can either do it right, you can do it wrong. If you get lucky, do it somewhere in between. You'll be eating out of your garden. God, I'm out of breath. Okay, let's get going, and we'll get going. Well, hopefully it was completely obvious that, you know, I didn't till that garden with that cultivator, or ever would I plan on doing that. So, completely obvious should be. So, and what you didn't see this year is once again brought the tractor over with my brother, and didn't film it, but he actually let me drive this year. Big brother let me drive the tractor tilling the garden. And because I'm, you know, late getting the garden in and behind, it's never too late. So it's going to weed those, so we got to get rid of that. So next step is, do I get Big Blue running, or do I get the little baby out of there? So this, I just, cable's too short. So like I said earlier, everything's just, everything's gone wrong so far for putting my garden in. But I do have a, I forget what you call it, when you buy a bunch of plants. I got a thing of plants. And so I got to get those in the garden. They're already looking a little sad. So I'll get the little one out, and I'll just kind of till a row to get it in and stake it. And again, this is all for you. It's not as difficult as maybe I make it, but you know, you should be having a garden wherever you are. And I'm going to show you what I did for the neighbor ladies over here real quick. We're going to go over there in just a second, and you can see their garden. Anyway, let's power this down and get the other one out, and I'll get it started. Okay, over and out. Boy, I was all ready to start saying, hey, guess how long it took to get this thing going? They'll look better. They need to be cleaned up. They got rode hard and put away wet last year. Clever. That's an original. So I just pulled it twice and it started. So I don't know if I should put the choke back on or not. But anyway, you guys that know small engines, choke on. This is really just to give the surface weeds a good FU. that would have been good. Runaway rototiller. I don't know if you heard that or not, but I said, what did I say? Oh, I said I'm just giving the surface weeds a good FU, so that's what that's about. Okay, in case you're wondering why this episode's called Louvered Door and a Sharpie, that's because this is a louvered door and this is a Sharpie. And this is new, so keep this in mind. You know, all these people get millions of views for kind of good ideas, I guess. Some of them pretty stupid, but I guess good ideas deserve a lot of attention. So this is mine, a louvered door. And guess what? You know, come on, you don't know what I'm going to use them for? Figure that out. If you didn't figure that out, then you shouldn't be watching this show anyway. So the whole idea of the show is, you know, I'm normally pretty embarrassed because the neighbor's over there planting their garden. This one's over here planting hers. And, you know, I had to take advantage of this time. It is June 13th, 2018, like I said, and that's pretty late to be getting a garden in Indiana. So anyway, I'm gonna probably be drawing some strings, you know, for nice straight lines, straight north and south. That's north, by the way, and that's south. So, but I'm just, you know, I'm running out of time, and I just thought, well, I'll just throw these in. I'm gonna throw these in, and I'm gonna mark them, and then we'll see what we got. Because normally I have no idea. I'm always like, what's that? All right, over and out. Okay, so that camera sure looks crooked. Oh, it must be a Hitchcock thing. Anyway, this late neighbor lady, because I gave her, I built her flower boxes. You're gonna see cut in here several times, I'm sure. She gave me what was left over. She went online and found that peat moss mixed with some cow manure is really, really good for the plant. Kind of makes sense to me. I'm not sure what peat moss is, but so I'm gonna do that. And typically, if you remember from the other episodes, this is Death Valley here. It's a low spot, and this will typically flood. So, and we usually lose a plant. And also, you probably know that typically I would drive. Typically, that's the word for this episode is typically. I would drive over and smash the dirt down, but I'm going to go with it loose, and just try and stay on top of tilling the weeds in between. Of course, the vines are going to be taken off, but you know. Well, I probably won't do a damn thing about this thing except throw some water on it from here on out, but we're going to try. Another thing I was going to say, and yes, I should cut away some other stuff. I'll cut away some other stuff right now so that it's not so boring. I'm getting ready to travel, and I'm going to be gone 3 or 4 weeks. Hopefully my nephew will come over. I'm sure he would water those with no problem, but asking somebody to water 3 rows of corn means dragging out the garden hose. So that's one consideration. The other consideration is it's 98 degrees right now, and it's 98% humidity, and maybe it'll rain, and maybe I'll get a lot of rain while I'm gone, and then nobody will have to water it or anything, and I'll come back, and you guys will just see this thing did it all by itself. Hi, and welcome back to Watch My Garden Grow. I had to go out of town, as I think I said when we left off, and this is what happens when you go away for 3 weeks and nobody tends to your garden. Let's see, can you see Dave? That's Dave. Dave's the drone pilot, and Dave's he's an authority on birds, so I don't know what help he's going to be here as far as the weeds and the gardening, but he promises he's going to have some input and some good ideas for us. All right, welcome back to Watch My Garden Grow, and this is Dave Crook. He is the drone pilot that you've been seeing all that great footage, and we're going to talk to Dave a little bit about this. Now, Dave is somewhat of authority on birds and insects, and I don't know why he thinks he knows anything about how to deal with the garden. So let me first ask you, weren't you responsible while I was gone to make sure the weeds were down? Wasn't that your job?
No, I believe you told that to your nephew.
Oh, good pass. Good pass.
Who's not here at the moment, might I add.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Dave, so what happened was I went out of town. There was nobody here to weed the garden, and this is what happens in just like 3 weeks. So you do know a lot about a lot of stuff. That's why I always like to ask you. Now, so I'm feeling overwhelmed with these weeds. In your opinion, Now the tomatoes are here. We're going to have a look at them, and I've already pulled a lot of things out of this mess out of here. But if I weed these, will the plants then get the nutrients that they're dying for right now? Am I starving them of their nutrients by letting all these weeds around here?
I assume right now you are, with all the weeds are sucking up all the stuff. But I assume if you tilled down your aisles again and got rid of it all, probably
One
go
of the
back to
problems
being
is
good.
I planted a lot of vine growing plants, so they're all laying entangled in those weeds. You know, another thing I wanted to say is I know it kind of looks like they're just haphazardly. You'd think they should be all in a nice row. That's the way a lot of people do it. I know the dirt here, and I know the viney things, and you know they just kind of get tangled up. So there might be logic to where these are.
You learned a lesson.
Yeah. So don't do this on your garden. Now, we're still going to show you that even with a disaster like this, even with what's happened here in just a matter of weeks, that I'm still going to produce food out of this and be able to have a party, and we'll cook and we'll eat stuff from this garden. It
see.
might be weeds, right, Dave? Now, Jamie here, we were talking about him earlier. That's the nephew. According to Dave, you were prepaid to weed the garden while I was in California.
According to Dave? Wow, I was not privy to that at all.
You were saying all kinds of shit about you.
Is that
when
your
you weren't
excuse
here.
why you didn't come over and prevent this from happening?
No, see, I work for a living, so that precluded me from being able
That's
to
right.
fulfill that
Okay, so I
student
guess,
obligation.
But you ended up being off that week, though, weren't you? I'm pretty sure you were off the whole week.
the question is, so here's what happens if you don't tend to your garden for just a mere 3 weeks, and you don't have anybody else to do it. Then you come back and you see the disaster, and you're like, oh, I give up. But then, according to these guys, somewhat bird and insect expert, and Jamie, an expert at everything, says that we should just try, and that it will get the nutrients if we get rid of those weeds, and those plants are just going to flourish, right?
I'd say you got to give it your best try.
Oh, that's your answer. Now, you did say there was another problem with my plants.
Well, my uncle, in his infinite wisdom, decides to put all four of a tray of 4 plants in one cage, which are far too short for one, let alone, as I can attest to, the proper way you plant them, 1 per cage.
1 per cage.
1 per cage.
But
So
look how many
in
more
the future-
tomatoes I'm going to get than
Well,
you
it's-
are.
That's true, but I have more plants than you do, spaced out more so. So
Yeah.
I think we're about equal at this point.
We should maybe go look at his garden, don't you think, Dave?
I think it looks nice.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
Definitely is.
I think you're going to need the chopper blades for this.
Get the big bad boy out.
Get the
huh?
big boy out.
All right.
Yeah.
I think he's right.
You're going
I
to
was
be
just
here.
worried with that. I was going to just tear the.
You're going to be here all day with that battery.
Well, there you
power
go.
going.
See, you learn something every day. And being a guitarist, I kind of hate dirt under my fingernails. But even with these gloves, I already got them. So I was just thinking, and I should tell you this. Keep this in mind too. That I'm looking forward to. It's going to feel good digging in dirt that I own. So here we go. Let's start with. Let's start with some peat moss. And kind of like this for that first tomato plant. Let's get some cow shit in here. Yeah, that's okay. Now, you might think that might poison the damn plant, huh? We'll mix it in. There we go. See how nice that is? How fun this is? It's really not a bad thing. It kind of feels weird and it creeps me out, but you just have to keep convincing yourself that that's a really good thing and a fun thing to do is dig your hands in the dirt. I can't say that I enjoy it all that much. Tear this off. Tear these off. Right? And this is a mountain spring. Mountain spring. Isn't this fun? Mountain spring. Mountain Spring. How about that? Now, louvered door and a Sharpie. All right, I'm gonna just move the cameras and just go to town here and then fast forward, because that's what everybody else does. Because I know you can't stand listening to me talk.
Time is of the essence, time is of the essence, time is of the essence, time. Time is of the essence, time is of the essence, time is of the essence, time. You can't break my balls, don't try to bust my chops. You make me sick, your corporate laws.
A lot of you have been asking, writing in, saying, what's your handwriting look like up close? I'm a handwriting analyst. Well, you tell me what you see. Large red cherry? I buried it. Okay, this breed here is large red cherry. L-A-R-G-E, red cherry, C-H-E-R-R-Y. Okay. You know, typically on a notepad I write uphill, which is like a big sign of you're a very creative person. I'd have to probably agree with that one. Okay, welcome back to Watch My Garden Grow. It is now June 16th, Saturday, 2018. And as you can see, I think I'm done. That's going to be the corn section. By the way, this is the B-roll camera here. I just kind of stepped up to the B-roll camera. But anyway, I was going to show you just a couple other things that, well, you know, so my whole thing is like I hate to weed and I hate to water. So I'm kind of building these little, you know, it's the opposite of a moat. I'm building the opposite of a moat around these plants. And then I just kind of grabbed, because I had manure left over, I went around and threw manure on all of them, which you can kind of see how that goes. So I was just going to throw the peat moss on here now, just kind of getting rid of it. So again, this is like, okay, is this going to kill them, or is this going to make them healthy and strong? What else did you say you wanted to see? Oh, you said you kind of wanted to get an overall picture. Now, when I'm saying you said, we don't know who that is, do we? My original fans, the older fans, that's what they're saying. They want to see. But anyway, so look how nice this is going to be, you know, for my nephew. And basically, all he's got to do is, tripped over my shoelace. You know, this is all he'd have to do. Look how fast this is going to be for him.
Well, I drink way too much alcohol, and I smoke a great deal of dope. I eat what the doc told me not to, but it's the only way that I can cope. I think of myself as a bandit, but I'm really a very nice guy. but the one I love most up and left me. And now all I want is to die. Why, oh why can't I get back on that track? And why, oh why did I think that this change wouldn't last? And why, oh why did I think that this was all in my past? Well, there's no use looking back. I think I'm gonna crash. You feel for my aching, my anger, and you feel that I am a good man.
I think that's enough of that. I think you get the idea. I'll explain more later, but you know, get out there and get your hands in your dirt, and you know, grow some stuff. Neighbor lady's over there working on her garden, so now I get all embarrassed again. All right, over now. See, this is watermelon in here, Dave. We shouldn't be tromping around, trying to figure out if I should weed or not. What do you think? Would it save the plants is the question.
Weed between the plants.
You know, you should have someone, if you're going to be gone for a length of time too, is, what'd you call it? Threading, or what was the word you used? No, you put them in between the, when they get outside of there, you do what to them? Weave. Just say weave. Where'd I put my gloves? Way over there.
Inward.
Oh, good man. Anyway, thanks for tuning in to Watch My Garden Grow 2018. And Dave, gosh, it was, all right, so Dave came up with the idea. This is really what this is all about. We got some jet fuel, and Dave is going to, why are we burning the garden?
Because it looks like because you killed it.
I'm going to say that the garden was a success this year because, well, I did eat out of it. I had tomatoes, and in the early year I had zucchini. Anyway, Dave, tradition is handed over to Dave to firebomb the garden.
Whoa. Whoa, boy. Oh, my God. You know that's right.
Take that with her. No, you take the drone.
Shit, boys. That's beautiful.
He lost his dog, as a matter of fact, and that's the reason he ain't coming back. Called his boss, but he never called back, and that's the reason he's still making tracks. He hit the road in a heavy downpour, changed his mind and his heart, put his back to the door, headed headed south where he thought it'd be warm. But that man lost his dog, got his head in a storm. He claimed a wife, but it broke her heart. Treated her bad right from the start. Called his mom, thought about moving back. She hung up the phone, as a matter of fact.